So it's a different thing to play against a team, and it's a totally different team to work for a team. Your first impressions for the whole situation in Olympiacos organization?
Well, I mean, a day like this obviously gives you the feeling and the value for what's being done here in Olympiacos. Our joint venture together with BWin, and with the message and the design that comes with this type of partnership and sponsorship is, I think it's inspiring for all of the people that are involved in sport in Greece, and particularly, of course, for the Olympiacos family. My players are sitting here and are able to take in the value and the character of the people around, and the environment that is so important to the organization as a whole. And I'm obviously happy to be here and be the guy that's running a small part of this great program, and of course is the basketball business.
After a big part of the preparation of the club, what we're waiting for? What will be the style of the new look Olympiacos? We are waiting a lot of Princeton offense, a lot of matchup zones, typical Blad things, or something different?
Well, you know, I think there's two types of coaching in general. One is a more systematic type approach, and another one is more personnel driven, and neither is more correct than the other. Throughout my career, I've always tried to work with the players and the personnel that I have, and afford them the opportunity to be the best players that they can be, and to create the best kind of basketball that the team can create, depending on the types of individuals and players that we have in the organization. What I found here is a great group of guys with proper attitude and approach. You know, we built the team in such a way that we could combine the abilities and the level and the experience of existing players who in the past have become a part of the DNA of this great club, and we look to add younger, versatile, athletic, fast, longer type players that could complement the great base of players that we have here already, and you know, we hope to play the type of basketball that suits their skill sets, and that will be attractive and appreciated by our fans and by basketball pundits European-wide.
Coach, are your players adapting your philosophy till now, and how much time you need to be in the best shape?
You know,
as a team?
I think realistically, when you make the type of changes and go through, you know, the process of incorporating so many new players into your program as we have had to do, you know, a 3-week period that we've experienced together is certainly not enough for me to honestly tell you, hey, you know, we've got it exactly where we want it. But, you know, as far as the beginning is concerned, as far as the effort level and the excitement level and the level of commitment that I'm looking for, I've certainly seen that, and that's, you know, that's a good start. I've never felt like you have to be at your best day one. If you are, then the only way to go is the only direction to go is down. What you want to do is start fast and get faster as the year goes on, and hope that you can build and you can grow and you can find ways in this very, very, very competitive league that we will be playing in, or leagues that we'll be playing in, both in Europe and in here in Greece.
Coach,
Yes.
given the fact that you're a very experienced coach, how do you manage to, you know, this weight in your shoulders? Because you were considered throughout the off-season from the press, the Greek press, like the best acquisition for Olympiacos this season.
Well, you know, pressure for me has always been something that is greater from within than it is from without. But that's probably because of the maturity that I have in the game. You know, I'm not so concerned any longer by what is not in my control and what is perhaps initiated by external sources. What I do feel and what I do want is to give the best of myself to this club, to this team, to my players, and to expect from myself the same level of commitment to excellence that I'm going to ask from my players on a daily basis. And I'm excited to be in an organization where I feel so strongly that the level of professionalism and the level of commitment and the level of character and class that we have here is suitable to me as a person and to me as a professional. So I don't feel that I could be in a better place than I am right now. And if some people think that I'm one of the good additions to this club, then I can only be proud and happy by that. But I certainly don't feel that I'm any more than anyone else that we've brought in here, or certainly any more than the great people that we already have in this organization.
So, Coach, after being in NBA
Yes.
and being a European champion, what is your ambition with Olympiacos?
Well, again, I really don't think that what you've done in the past has to in any way define what you'll do in the future. You come to a place and you recognize that day one is the beginning of a process, and I've always been a process-oriented person and a process-oriented coach. So what I feel is that it's all new and it's all fresh, and it's a welcome and an exciting challenge. And the good thing is I know I have great people to work with. And if I do my job the way that I believe I'm capable of, then great things can happen here.
Coach,
Yes, sir.
how much or not the feedback windows affect your effort and your preseason? Because it's something new.
Yeah, well, I think that's a very fair and a very pertinent question right now. And I've thought a lot about this. You should probably know and understand that I am someone that has lived in both worlds. I have been a long-time national team coach. I spent 7 years coaching the very, very successful Russian national team. I've been 25 years in the coaching business. I have been, more than a decade coaching in the EuroLeague league. And of course 25 years in local European leagues as well. And I can tell you this, I know full well that there are very good people on both sides of the fence when we talk about FIBA and we talk about EuroLeague, when we talk about the current situation. And what is always in my mind, because not only do I coach basketball, but I like to pay attention to what's happening in the rest of the world, is that this situation is not at all unlike what's happening in the world, where there are a lot of good people with a lot of good ideas and a lot of good sense, and for some reason we can't seem to get together and do the right thing. Because what's happening right now is not for the good of basketball, and it's not for the good of the players, it's not for the good of the teams, it's for the good of people with ego and people with political designs and people who are behaving in a very short-sighted and negative fashion. And again, this is on both sides of the fence. What's happening is not serving the good of basketball teams or basketball players in any environment. And I'm disturbed by it, and I think it's affecting negatively our game. And it's got to stop. It's about time for somebody to stand up and say, hey, what's the right thing to do for the game? And not for the politics and for the egos and for the designs of I don't know what. But it's wrong, and it's got to stop.